Hello and welcome to the Dance Yourself Brave show, where we get real about the struggles dancers face, from confidence battles to self-doubt, and how dance has the power to make us braver, stronger, and more unstoppable in every area of life. I'm your host, Mariana Santos, founder of Brazily Fitness. And whether you're a seasoned dancer, a dance instructor, dance lover, or someone who's always wanted to dance but feels a little intimidated to start, this show is for you. Expect honest conversations, inspiring stories, and simple ways to bring more dance into your life, whether that's in the studio, on stage, or right in your living room. And if you're a dance instructor, we've got you covered with tips on how to grow your dance business, attract more students, and create a bigger impact through your passion for movement. So if you're ready to step out of your comfort zone, own your movement, and dance yourself brave, let's do this. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Dance Yourself Brave show. I'm your host, Mariana Santos, founder of Brazily Fitness. I'm so excited because I have James here with me today. How are you doing, James?
Good. Excellent. Excited to be here.
Yeah, well, I'm so excited to dive right in and hear all about what you're doing. But let me start with a little intro. So James MahKween is from Atlanta, GA, which is Georgia, right? I know that.
Yeah.
We were just talking about how I struggle from Canada.
It's okay. I completely understand.
It's okay. We got this. He graduated with a BFA in musical theater from American Musical and Dramatic Academy. Since graduating in 2013, he has reached goals traveling as a dancer and choreographer, producing events, giving all different forms of arts platforms to share their love and passion for their craft. So that's beautiful. So thanks again for coming on the show.
Thank you. That's so beautiful.
Oh, thank you. So what I would love to do is start from the beginning. Like, I like to see kind of like the backstory of like how you got into dance and your whole journey from the beginning.
Okay, well, yeah, it's actually funny because I never had the space growing up to take dance classes and all that. I just always loved dance. Any type of show, movie, reality show, like So You Think You Dance was like my hit. It was like, I knew exactly what time to be home. Nobody could stop me from being home. So now let me watch So You Think You Dance. It was my TV time. Everybody in the house knew. So I was like, do whatever you're going to do, but y'all know what time So You Think You Dance is. So don't have me waiting. Thank God we have also recording now, so I can pre-record things.
Yep.
So I had the opportunity to do like musical theater when I got to high school. I did musical theater. That's when I made some friends who went to a dance studio that I attended. This was in Waldorf, Maryland. I live in Georgia, but I lived in Waldorf, Maryland during this time. So I lived a lot of places. So just bear with me. I'll try to keep that in mind. So this is in Waldorf, Maryland. I was doing musical theater at my high school, Westlake High. And we were doing, what was that musical? Was it Footloose? It was Footloose. And then we also did, It's going to pop up in my head. I keep trying to think of it. I should have make it come out. And so I met some friends there who went to dance studios. And so I got the opportunity to go to those dance studios and I started taking classes. So I can still consider myself a late bloomer because I was just still like figuring out how dance classes work. I was told that I was a natural when I had to audition to be at the studio. And I was still like, some people think they love to dance and then they get into the process of dancing and what that all entails. And then you're like, nah, I think I just like watching it. The passion of it makes me excited. Yeah. No, I was like, let's dance. I was always excited. I got the opportunity to go to classes. And then again, so in that midst of going through high school, I was graduating and I went to AMDA. That's where I went to go to college. And that was my only college I submitted to. Yeah. A lot of people normally do like 6 colleges. And I was like, AMDA. It's a musical theater, performing arts, dance school where I can like dive into what I really love. So why would I not go for it? Auditioned for it, got me a ride. Everything went great. Got some scholarships lined up for me so that I could attend the school, dance
Definitely
for a long
meant to
time.
Be, right?
Right. Yeah. It's beneficial. It was important.
Yes.
So doing all of that, then I came to Los Angeles and got my BFA. We're doing that. While I was doing that in Los Angeles, I was in New York at first. See, everywhere. I was in New York
all over the place
for AMDA. When I got my AA, that's when I really realized I like musical theater as well and like all the fine work that came with it. And then I went to LA to get my BFA, and that's when I really dove into my dance side, I guess I would say. And it's like fine tuning space of taking classes that weren't required for me. I would just say like, if you want to take the class, just show up. And I would just show up doing that. And then I got into the space of wanting me to choreograph things for them, just like ha ha he he stuff.
Yeah.
And then everybody was like, this is actually really good. And so then I continued to just play with it. My friends were down, I was down. We go to the studio, and then we got an opportunity to present work at the school because they had different base projects that we could do. And so I did that, and I actually got, it's called Raise the Bar. That's what it was called. And so my first Raise the Bar, they said you're only supposed to submit one piece. I submitted 5, and all 5 got selected. So I was just right, yeah. So it was quite impressive. I was in shock. They were very receptive. They're like, no, this is like really good. And so I was like, oh, maybe I got something going on here because I've always loved dance. I've always loved. I didn't know what choreography was for a period of time, but I always knew I loved the idea of something put together to create whatever that was I was watching. And when I learned the terms, I was like, oh, that's choreography. And so I learned that I love that too. I really love to tell a story about anything and everything. So that continued to bleed. I did dance workshop at our college as a choreographer in my senior year. Yeah. That went up crazy every night. I love listening to audience responses, whether good or bad, right? Just in the midst of watching them, like sitting in the middle of the audience and just listening to people and how they receive the work. And it was crazy. I was like, it's just a duet. But everybody was just really, that piece itself helped me, like carried me into my next space of dance, which was Lula Washington Dance Theater. When I lived in Los Angeles, I stayed in Los Angeles. And then I ended up finding my way, being through Jonah Rivers. I believe her name was Joanna Rivers. She had this company that helped dancers find their way, pretty much was what she was trying to do. And I didn't know what to do after college, honestly. I was doing background and here and there things, but I just
like a lot of artists, right?
It's like I was like, where do I belong in all of this hoopla that is of art and creativity? Because I love so much. So she led me to Lula Washington, and then I met Lula Washington and Tamika and her whole family, and I stayed with them for like 5 years, dancing, getting my craft together, studying pretty hard, honestly, pretty hard. And then while doing that, they gave me opportunities to teach, go to schools, do educational performances, assist them in teaching classes. So they really dove me in deep quickly, while still doing company and pre-company based work as well, and my own work. And then they did a show, one of my friends who saw, because I stayed quiet about it. I never told them that I was a choreographer. I was in there, I told them, I said, I'm here to get educated on vocabulary, because vocabulary is important to me when it comes to a craft or anything that I need to be knowledgeable about, right? Because if you're just going to the room and say like, you're fixing cars and you don't know a certain part, like I can't tell you nothing about cars. The hood, the trunk, that's what you got. Wheels.
Yeah, that's pretty much the extent of my expertise with cars. I don't even drive.
I'm working on that right now, actually. So that's why I'm like, that's something I've got to study.
Tag team to inspire each other.
Right, yes. I'm like, I got to learn how to fix a tire or something just in case of emergencies, like electric cords. I don't know. I'm not that person, but I'm going to become that person so that I can feel more confident on the road in case of emergencies.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I met them, and then they kept me in, and then they saw how much of a value I was, because I'm a loyal person at heart. I'm a Taurus, or is it, we do this? I don't know.
My best friend is a Taurus. The only thing I know is that she loves to eat.
Yes, we do. Taurus
She's
love
like
to
this
eat.
big, never gains a pound, and she eats like more than most people I know.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, I will eat. I've eaten, and then I'll see something else, and my friend will come like, oh, you want to go somewhere and eat? And I'm like, sure, let's go eat. Does that mean I'm going to eat it all? No, but then now I've got food at home I can eat that I didn't have before that's not in that fridge.
Always a good plan.
Exciting. The dips, the sauces, all of it. It's incredible. Yeah. Yeah, and so I dove into that. It's so long, but that's really what dove me in. I've always loved dance. I've always had this passion for art itself. And so the first time I got that space was when I went to high school, and I went and did a musical theater. They wanted me to do acting like just dry plays, I guess they call. But I don't, I do them, but I love the drama. I love the music, the explosion, the dance, it's too much. We're all out of breath, and then we got to go back. I love it. Yeah. Not saying I don't like straight plays. I love a good straight play. So, but yeah, so that's where all of that expanded from. And then I've always been a person to be like, take the bull by the horns, to say, huh, Taurus, and like really claim what I want. And like, if I'm given the space to create or like find my way, and people are like, yeah, we can help you, come with us this way, and I feel safe, and you show me I can trust you, I don't mind following and seeing what comes of this in this space. Now, I also know that I say yes, but I also can say no. So if something feels crazy or disarray, I'll pull out. But I'll dive in and see, because you never know where the next opportunity could come from for you, and what you can learn from each experience. Every experience is a growing experience.
It is so true. And I mean, there's so much there. You know, what's awesome about doing this show is that I get to talk to all kinds of dancers of different backgrounds. You know, I have some people who started dancing when they were 2, and some people like you started like in high school, you know, but it goes to show that any time
is
the right
not
time.
A number for dance.
Exactly.
No. It's about consistency and a passion and a care. Anytime I teach any form of art, like if you're in this room, you need to care for it. You can't come in here just giving it half the labor and love that it truly deserves, because in reciprocation, that's what you're going to get back. And then you're wondering why things look the way they look sometimes, or how you're feeling in the class, because it's not you're not reciprocating the love for that craft as much as you should, right? You can have somebody go on a panel and do a TED talk, but the moment you throw paintings and art on top of that TED talk for something, things become more receptive and more processing. So I like to say it's because there's care and love behind everything that you feel responded to, right? So you've got to show how much love you want to put into that, so you can get that back in return from that craft, right? You want to get a double pirouette. It's not going to happen just because you do what I say. You have to put the labor and the work and consistency to create that stillness in that moment.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. And I think that's one of the things I love most about dance, because no matter how far like technology advances with AI and all these things that are here to make our lives easier, but
is it?
Well, I guess it's debatable. We could have another episode.
Some stuff, some not. Yes, some stuff, some not. Yeah.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna hate on the tech.
But
I ain't gonna hate on the tech.
Exactly. But with dance, like you still have to put in the work. You have to put in that effort no matter what, right? Like maybe there will be some like kind of technology that will make things faster or easier or whatever. But at the end of the day, you're gonna have to put in the work yourself. And that's what's gonna teach you the discipline, the resilience, that build that confidence in yourself. And you're going to have to work on that from the inside out, no matter how far technology advances, right? Yeah. So what would you say, like, you know, going through all this, you know, journey, moving back and forth, what are some of the struggles that you faced along the way? Like when you first got into dance, or just throughout the journey?
The ability to have the space to dance, the money to dance. That space was quite challenging until I met Lula Washington, who really gave me a homestead space to come in, and like she really was just like, get the education, work hard, do it, because the moment you don't. And so I showed up every day, extra classes. I was doing classes that weren't even for me. I'd go dance with the little kids to get more classes, you know what I mean? And fine tune what I need to fine tune. Yeah, and I think those were some of the challenging spaces. And always I say it again and again, because I feel like even today at this moment, right? I feel like I'm like, where do I fit in this hubbub of creativity? Because yes, I'm a dancer. Yes, I'm a choreographer. Yes, I do photography and all these productions and producing of projects. Yes, yes. But I feel like,
which seems like a lot.
Yeah. For her, but I always feel like so separate. My mind of creativity. You know what I mean? Where are those people who, I don't know, I think of things in a different way. Like my work is never specified for me. It may come from a place that it's like, when I first started choreographing, I choreographed work focused on like my life and what I was feeling and what I was going through, past, present, right? Nothing else, nothing historical. It was just all about me and my life. And that was what was receptive. And I feel like now when I like process work, I feel like, I don't know, I can't seem to find the community that I connect with. I mean, there's some people, right? But they're so far and few that I can connect with, that understand how I feel and what is art, right? Because there's so much space, and art is your own opinion, right? But I feel like a lot of work that I give, I feel like if you give work for the community, the people, that's when you're most successful, right? Creating work for yourself is beautiful, and we love that, but it's the idea of the people. And I am always searching for people who understand that process and who are willing to work for different spaces, sometimes for free, sometimes not
Mm-hmm.
for free, but just
Yeah.
willing to understand this is nothing to do with me or you. This is about the space of the people receiving art, education, emotion, sensation. You know what I mean? That space. That's what I struggle with sometimes and a lot of,
Mhm.
especially being out here now in Georgia. I'm still finding my community of people creatively in all different forms of
Yeah,
who
well, with moving back and forth, like, to different places, it makes it harder, right? To
yeah,
have those
yeah,
long-lasting relationships.
relationships. And I'm a person who likes that. So I lived in Los
Mhm.
Angeles for like 14 years. So I made a lot of long living relationships. But
Mhm.
now I'm here and I'm still keeping those relationships there because I still go out to LA to see them and do work.
Mhm.
But
Oh,
I'm
that's
like, I
nice.
gotta find people here too in many different
Mhm.
forms of creativity to like charge that need for myself. Right. And
Mhm.
to reciprocate back. I love to give back to people and offer myself in many different ways. Yeah, I
Mhm.
think those are a lot of my challenges. It used to be the idea of being told no, and then I made my own
Mhm.
yes, and then that went away immediately. And then people started telling me yes for the
Okay.
things that I wanted before. And now I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, let's see if I want that now. So now it's
Mhm.
my choice, which is beautiful, and I'm so grateful. Yeah.
Yeah, I love all of that. And so what would you say, like, going through all these struggles, trying to find yourself and like learning to turn the no into a yes, like you said, how do you think that's shaped you as a person and how does that affect your life today in
Oh,
all
what do they
areas?
call it? The with the water with the duck off the back type of mentality. It's very much that because I know it's for me, like stress and that anxiety space. Especially, I love learning like about the mind or just conversations about like the psyche and why we behave the way we behave. So
Mhm.
like anxiety, right? That's just a term. It's something that stems from something. So you don't have anxiety. You are nervous because of something, right? Anxiety is not a real process of thing.
Yeah.
It's just a word that was put out there. So let's
Mhm.
discuss what I'm emotionally going through. And
Mhm.
now that I had to dive into that space because I have to deal with people in many different ways, so
Mhm.
I've dealt with people who don't always or can't fully commit or,
Mhm.
arguments of such, not me
Mhm.
arguing, but, them arguing and me just trying to communicate
Mhm.
and just being able to process and still like keep the engine chugging along, right? You got to that's what I said. I'm always down to meet and work with people and see what we can create and develop together. But if things go the way they go, sometimes that happens. I'm not considering anything a waste of my time because I
Mhm.
developed something out of that belongs to me now. You have something that you can use, but I also too can use something from that. And then I've also learned people in another way and be able to
Mhm.
process that because we're all wrong and we're all right. I just think
Mhm.
sometimes you gotta pause, and sometimes people don't know how to pause in those situations, or they don't give you the space to pause, honey. Oh my god.
Yep. Yep.
I'm like, can we just come back
Yep.
to this tomorrow before things go disarray? So yeah, I feel like it made me be able to keep my peace and my joy and my happiness because there was a point where I was just like, oh, I just want to give
Yep.
it up. Just let it all go. Let me get a
Mhm.
9 to 5. Let me practice. Like, let me work at a drive through. I don't have to do all of this hard
Well, I'd
work.
be surprised to talk to anyone who works in like some sort of art to tell me that they've never had that feeling,
Right,
or like
a
an
hundred
entrepreneur,
percent. It's a
right?
part of it. But I also
Yeah.
say that's the ascending that happens at that moment, right?
Mhm.
You've done all this
Mhm.
work, all these cool things, and now you're doing this new up leveling, and now it's challenging you. I'm in that
Yeah.
space right now where things are
Mhm.
challenging and creating projects with new people, new processes, finding new spaces. Some, you know what I mean? And finding people who want to collab, big spaces, communities, people, right? For
Mhm.
ideas, visions, and productions and like trying to like what is the word? Stay committed, keeping that chain like a chugga chewing, and not letting your mind go negative, right?
Mhm.
Because that can you like, well, maybe it's just not going to work out here. Maybe I need to revamp things. And
Yeah.
yes, you can always revamp things, but what you were doing and what you are doing can work and is working. You just have to now find that new space of community and people, which now I have that process of thought. It helps me like it's a day-to-day process, and
Mhm.
I've met a lot of new people now, you know what I mean? That it's just kind of incredible. And I've
Mhm.
only been out here for a year, so I can only imagine what's going to happen in the next 5 months.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
people are willing to like do stuff here and there because, again, to them, I'm new to them and they're new to me. And they're like, what do you offer, really? And I can't just say, Google me, honey, because that's just, I have to really show. And I'm good at that, like talking business and like managing that type of space. Like, even if it's not written down, I could give you a synopsis. Word of, sorry, that's my dog. Word of mouth, who, like what I'm aiming to do. I have so many ideas and so many things that I want to do and level up that I'm just always looking for the sponsors, the connections, the people, you know what I mean? The philanthropists. Where are you? I'm here. I need you. Yeah. So I just keep that head up and just keep on staying strong. Yes, there are some days that obviously you get exhausted because life be life and then it be trying to slap you down. But then take a pause. You're allowed, like, I heard something before. They're like, you're on, as long as you're picking to be on your road already, you're on your road, right? You can sit down on your road. You can walk on your road. You can sprint on your road. Just don't stop being on your road. Don't deny that part.
I love that. And it's so true because I am a business owner and sometimes everything's like just super awesome and other things it's like you want to pull your hair out, right?
Yesterday was so much better.
Yeah. So it's easy to just be like, oh my God, like I just want to give it all up. But really what you need to do is just pause, take a break. And it's what I noticed with myself, especially because for me, I love to dance, right? But there's a lot that I have to do in the business that's not just dance. Like there's marketing, there's admin, there's like websites and all this stuff that I don't love doing. And then I realize that when I'm having those moments, it's because I haven't been dancing enough.
Right. You're not caring for you. Yeah.
Exactly. So then just like be like, okay, now let's just go spend a few minutes dancing before you go into this next meeting. Right. And even something like that, it helps, right?
Yeah, it gives you a good pause.
Yeah. And what is something that you like maybe the people that you work with, because you don't teach dance right now, right? So from what I understand,
I do teach dance. I do. Yeah. So I found me 2 nice jobs where I work with one competition studio, Dance for Joy, who I think I reached out for you for, and then also my other location, Tada, which is the Atlanta Dance Academy. Yeah.
So what is something that you wish your students knew about you, or maybe they'd be surprised to know about you?
To know about me? I mean, I'm pretty like open with my kids, honestly, to like the most respectful space that I can be with them so that they can see I'm a human, right? Yes, I can tell you about all the things. I can show you my resume. I can show you the videos. But at the end of the day, I am you, you are me. We are human. We bleed, we breathe, right? So that's hard. I mean, I don't know.
That's the most important thing that they should know, because I find that sometimes, you probably get this, but sometimes people come to dance classes and they look at the teacher and they think, oh my God, like they make it look so easy, like,
Yeah.
And then it's almost like they think that that teacher doesn't have, their own struggles and, so I think like as teachers and instructors, if you're open about your experience and be like, hey, like actually this song took me this many tries to get it right, like, or whatever, then they start to realize like, okay, like it's normal to like fail, get back up, fail, get back up, right? So
that's exactly
the fact that you're open about that with your students is great.
I tell my students all the time, I still work on my pirouettes. I still work on these things because it's a continuous growth. This is why I love the arts. It's not a thing of like you get stagnant, right? There are things you can get somewhere in life and you can just be the top of the best. I'm very much open about where I'm at and what's going on. If we're having that conversation, they're like, oh, I didn't realize we were getting that deep in that conversation. No, you wanted to talk about emotions and what all that is. Let's dive into that space because we need to all realize that we're human. I think if the world had more space of like vulnerability, non-judgment, right? The idea of validation wouldn't have to be such a necessity for people, right? Because I don't seek validation. I don't have time for that because life is moving. If I sit there waiting for your validation, I could be waiting for months, years, a century, right? So I got to keep on moving. But to allow me to be vulnerable without judgment, I think the world can benefit a lot more in that space. And I think me doing that with my students, if the world receives like kids, they need to have open space, vulnerability, and to feel non-judgment. Like those are the thing. I will say I do not believe in over-validating, right? Because you got to feel confident in yourself. If I'm over-validating, now if you give them what you give, I'm like, okay, but if you are able to do something that you appreciate and you feel that, it's good. Allow yourself to feel those emotions because you're going to go through a time in life where there's no validation. and you're going to be seeking it. You're going to be seeking it instead of knowing it's in yourself. Allow yourself to be vulnerable and accepting of what is good in you and what is going on, right? Without judging it, without judging what you see in the mirror. Self-love is important. That's another thing we need out here in this world.
Yeah.
Because if we self-love, we can like.
Yes. Love it. Yeah. So totally agree. The world needs more vulnerability, less judgment, and more self-love.
Judgment.
Yeah.
Right now, they're so judgy right now, and it doesn't make sense. I said, I can't understand. I can only imagine how kids nowadays process all the judgment they receive, be it through social media, at home, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, like it's such an easy way to get attacked. And if you don't have the education or the mindset of processing that, it can be deadly to you. And I think
it is.
That's where PTSD happens in many ways. It does not have to just be out in the field. It can happen in schools, you know what I mean? And it could prevent growth in ways that are important to help this person be who they need to be. So I like to make sure I'm a vessel to offer that like type of like, hey, you're good. You could cry, let that out. You're good. You need a moment? What's up? You need a hug? What's up? What's going on? I got a candy bar. What you need? Like, let's make sure you're good.
And it's so hard, like in the world we live in. I have a 4-year-old daughter, and I'm already thinking like, I don't want her to have a phone. Like, I don't want her to have social media, and because she's such this little like firecracker. She's so confident, and now she just started kindergarten, right? So she's like, being around other kids. Thank you. And she's so like sure of herself, right? And I just would hate for her personality to kind of like for her light to dim because of what other people are saying, or, because she's comparing herself to other people on social media, and not to mention like all the dangers on social media, right? But even yesterday, there's this one little girl who always kind of like says mean things to her. So yesterday she told me that the little girl called her a baby, and I was like, okay, not sure I like this girl very much.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Didn't talk to her teacher today, but because those little things, they stick with you, right? Like I don't have a lot of like memories from my childhood, but I do remember like when people were mean to me, and those 100%. Things stick with us. So it's so tough. And then if you amplify that with social media, right? Like, I don't think
it gets worse. Yeah, I agree. I agree 100% because I mean, well, yeah, but you also have to give them that space to, be open. I think and that's why I say, that's why I believe in doing my part and making sure they feel comfortable in space. Because when you're out there, if I can do my part and make you feel like solid about yourself, when you go out there, ain't nobody gonna bother. Mr. MahKween told me this is that, honey. And I know me and I know that, right? If you can manage that space, social media and all that stuff won't affect you because that's what we had growing up, right? We had that from our parents of the space of real strength, real knowing of knowledge of oneself. We didn't have to lean into social media to find an influencer to cover us, right? Our parents, when we talked about heroes back in the day, we talked about our grandmas, our aunties, our uncles, our moms, our dads, our brothers, our sisters. We didn't say like some celebrity was which is okay to have that as well, because that can also help. But as your like root hero, a lot of people would mention their parents or like some type of one in their family. And I feel like nowadays a lot of people don't honor that space as much as they do because of that, right? They have to be in the new-ish of what's going on and and I'm not a trendy person. I've never liked trends. Even when I did fashion I still make clothes, but I did fashion because I couldn't find stuff that I liked because everything was based off of a trend that was happening. And I was like, I'm just looking for this specific thing. And y'all don't have the stores because you want to stay in season with the trends. And I am a good willer. I will go to any type of outlet that is very cute. Like, so I'm very like, we don't need those, but if they're going to be there, we need to be strong enough to manage ourselves accordingly so that we could be our most authentic selves.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I know, because she's only 4, but I know I'm going to blink and she's going to be 14 and I'm going to be like,
goodness,
like she's already acting like a little teenager most days. I know she's going to hate me, but I just don't know like how I feel about giving her a phone, but we'll see. Let's cross that bridge when we get to it.
Right. Yeah. You never know.
Yeah. So what would you say, like, do you have a student success story, something maybe recent that stands out that you can share that, a student told you like, you know what, James, like in your classes, like I've been able to conquer this or accomplish this? Like, is there anything that stands out?
I feel like I get those often. If you're coming to my class, you know Miss MahKween is passionate about what he's going to educate you on. If we're going to dive into whatever jazz, modern, contemporary, ballet, whatever we're going to dive in, I'm going to educate you with everything I've got in my being to make sure you can get this knowledge. I'm only 33, but like students who have had opportunities to do performances and work with Debbie Allen and all these other base things. And it just makes me feel good. I have students who graduated college who do their own creative aspect of things, who said they wouldn't do it if they did not know me and be in the space of me. Yeah. So I can't think of like a certain single one.
You're way too modest, right?
I get told that often. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes.
I'm very humble. I'm very humble because I'm just grateful that you're still on this trail of creativity. You know, I tell my students this as well, this space of you're in here now doing art, right? I don't know, and they could be 10. I don't know if you're gonna be a lawyer at the end of your day. You know what I mean? When you go to college, you could decide to be a nurse or a doctor, but just know if you take the education, what I'm doing here with you right now, it's going to transform you, prepare you for any other craft you want to do. Whether if you want to,
that's what I always
do
say.
Anything else, because it's the discipline and education and the consistency that is required from it that you don't get from any other thing, right? You get that a lot in the arts, a way lot more, a way lot more. And I think when some of them have understood that, I said, I have friends who are phenomenal dancers, dancing companies, and now are lawyers that just do what they want to do, have left it alone and now do physical therapy. I was like, you were just dancing a week ago. Yeah, now I'm diving into this. It's a month later, 2 months later. Now they're out here really doing therapy-based work. It's because of the focus and the discipline that they have implemented in their bodies from having to be like, and we're moldable people. Anyone in the arts are very, yes, we want to do what we want to do, but we also, if required, can mold. But no, when you come in here, this is going to benefit you just as everything else can.
Love it. So what would you say is the kind of impact that you're looking to make in the world? I know, it's a big question.
I always tell everybody at the end of my days, I want to be a philanthropist. That's like my biggest, and everybody's like, what are you going to do in like 60 years or whatever? I'm like, I'm going to be a philanthropist. I'm going to be a man with a lot of money who can offer opportunities to other people who, like me, didn't have that space. And, obviously there's going to be a process to go through these things and whatnot, but that's what I really would love to do. Currently, I'm trying to change the city one person at a time, give people opportunity in the space to present art. I do multiple different forms of productions. I'm trying to find spaces out in Georgia right now to who would mind collaborating, offering a space, because there's ways to collaborate. Sometimes, because I ain't got the money right now. I just moved out here, baby. You know what I mean? So I'm looking for people who wouldn't mind collaborating. And then I'm also like willing to give a percentage of something out of the show itself. Like I'm not no stingy person, but I do need spaces that can offer support in many different ways, lighting and all that extra jazz. So I can offer shows and events and to give different creative artists, not just dancers, vocalists, painters, actors, pole dancers, you know what I mean? Because I have several different shows that produce different ideas of projects. I have a show called Reflect. That is a dance-based show that I've been doing for like 5-6 years now. And the goal of the show is I pick a theme, or I've had the audience, the community, pick a theme that they think is prevalent for the time that we're in. And then we do that theme. And then the dancers, choreographers present a dance based off of that theme. Right. And whatever that means to them, like we've done love, we've done home, we've done gratitude, we've done time, when we were virtual, we were in COVID, I did 3 virtual events, and then we called it Through the Lens. And it's always a hit. It's always a hit. It's always a hit. It's never missed. And it's because of the connection for audience to dancer, right? Now we're connected to what that choreographer and dancers are expressing, what they feel about life. Maybe you connect to it, maybe you don't. Maybe you learn something new about someone's life or life in general. And it's very impactful. That's one of my favorite shows. I have so much I want to do with that show. I just need the support. I just honestly do. That's really what it is. I'll keep on digging and I'll keep on fighting. It'll grow consistently because I'm fighting for it. But if I have more help, I know I can make that thing pop.
Yeah. I feel like if you always stay with that big vision at the back of your mind, like the little steps start to unfold, you start to meet the right people. We can't have like that anxiety, right? That we were talking about. We have to just kind of let it flow and be like, it's going to happen. And so just surrender to the process and things start to happen. But that's very, like, it's easier said than done. But that's where, like, your faith is really tested, right?
Yes, you
And
got to talk
yeah,
about faith. You got to
yes.
talk about faith because
Mhm.
there's a lot of these, even the top artists still have to have faith that they're still prevalent for whatever craft or show or dance project or choreography is needed, right? Or songs. You got to be faithful that you know that your work and your time is valued, and then these things will happen. Yeah, and I offer again a variety of based projects and shows that, you know, give all these different forms of artists that type of space. I have a show for specifically for feminine based energy, where it's all about fem and how we allow that space to be open emotionally, right? We talk so much about the masculine.
Yes.
We love it.
The go. Right?
But
Yeah.
why can't we be soft and feminine why can't feminine also be strong? Let's show the many vast spaces of that and what that looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that involves
I
acting,
don't know
pole.
too much about, like, the feminine masculine energy, but what I do know is that the masculine energy is that, like, that go side, that ambition, but
Uh-huh.
where you actually reap the rewards of your labor is through the feminine energy, right? Where you just surrender, right? So it can be so easy to just be like go and not ever slowing down to
Power
actually
through.
receive, right? Like to
Right.
receive what you're working for, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that is something that I struggle with. So I try to pay attention to that. But because I'm very like, oh, go in this and this and this and this and this, and what else can I do?
Yeah. Well, sometimes you gotta give yourself that space of look at what I have done. Let
Yep.
me have something to eat. Let me have a glass of wine. But to be like, it's complete. Now I can rest. No, because then you're gonna find something else to work on. You
Exactly.
gotta squeeze it into spaces. Start doing it. It's okay. And it's not procrastination. It is not
No.
because we're already doing it, right? We're
And
just taking a break. It's okay.
yeah. So true. And what
You gotta
advice would
give
you
that.
give to someone who is just starting to dance, or maybe they're curious about dance and a little bit hesitant? Like, they're listening to this show and maybe they're a little bit older, right? Because I'm
Yes.
sure no 4-year-olds are listening to this episode.
Don't doubt yourself. Be clapping. You can do it.
Yes.
That's it. Honestly, look. Go for it. You've got today. Take it. You've got today.
Yes.
Carpe diem. Carpe that diem, honey.
Yeah.
Honestly, like that's how. I don't want to make it seem like a sweet sentimental thing. Like honestly, just go do it. Experience the moment. Especially we're talking about older people like our bracket or older. Every day is an opportunity to grab the bull by the horns because we are no longer 16, right?
Yep.
So every time you get that space to make yourself feel good or expand on something that you feel is a necessity for your life, you better grab that bull by the horns and take it. Take it. It's okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to be apologetic about it. Be proud of yourself that you took that step and see what else now what else do I want? We are in that space in that time, especially when the world is doing what it's doing. You gotta be, I'm not saying mean, but you gotta be aggressive about what you want. I'm a Taurus. They say I am stubborn. I'm not stubborn. I'm persistent. I know what I want. You gotta know what you want and command that space. When you walk in a room and you know what you want, when you walk in rooms, people are gonna feel like, oh yeah, they got it. They got it. So they're gonna give it to you. Half the time you don't gotta take, but come into the energy like you know this is mine. And if you're just going to go and have fun, then why would you prevent yourself from having joy and fun, right? You don't have to want to do it for professional based reasons. You just want to, you miss taking class, but you're questioning what you used to be. I could question myself. My body is not what it used to be a year ago. I was just talking to my friend the other day. I was smaller a year ago. And I'm still like, oh my God. I'm like, where did this all come from? I was still dancing, but you get other things begin to change. So now I'm working on stuff, but I'm not going to prevent that from me doing what I want to do. Like I do pole dancing as well, right? So, I used to be able to flip upside down. I can still do it, but not like how I got to gain a new strength,
You got to
right? And
warm
I'm
up a
working
little
on
bit
gaining
more
that new,
now, right?
yeah, I got to develop new muscle to pull up more. And that's okay because I still look good. I get compliments. I teach classes. I do workshops because I know what I'm doing. But I know in my body what it used to feel like to be lighter. So now I got to gain new strength to work with all this new mass that I've gained. And that's okay. That don't mean I'm not about to show up and have a blast.
Love it. So I love everything that you're doing, but I'm sure people are curious to reach out to you, maybe take a class with you, or even like collaborate with you on a project.
Yes.
So if you can just share now, how can people just be around your energy and just work with you?
You can reach me out on Instagram at the THE_MahKween, MahKween_method, like a method actor. So the_MahKween_method. You can also email me at MahKweenmethod@gmail.com. Same thing on Facebook, James MahKween, but MahKween is spelled MahKween. I'm on YouTube underneath Mr. Dolly, but the O is a 0 instead, like the number 0. So MRD0LLY. That's where you can see all my choreography. Where else can you find me? That's a great question. Yeah, those are the best. I think those are some of the best spots to reach me out. If you're wanting to reach me on my pole life, at MahKween be on the pole. That's that MahKween be on the pole. DA pole, PAOLE. Yeah, and I think that's all of the platforms that I could think of that I'm on. I have a website, but I'm in developing of it. We're changing stuff out. So like you said, perfection, right? I can't show it yet. Yeah. I can't show it yet.
Yes. But maybe the next time you're on the show, you'll be able to share it with us.
Yes, I would love that. I would definitely love to be on.
Yeah, we'll have the part 2 for sure. But for those of you listening and watching, all his links are in the show notes, so it's easy just to click. And, you know, sometimes it's hard to like remember things, right? So just click and contact him and reach out and do some magic in the world together. Well, James, thanks so much for being on the show. I love chatting with you, and I love what you're doing. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Like, I love hearing about all these different unique stories and how, you know, how we can get together and just make the world a better place through dance and arts
honestly,
in general.
Thank you again. I truly appreciate it. And that's really what my goal is. Anytime you're going to hear me talking about anything, it's really about the world, right? I could talk about me and what I need, right? But what I want, what I need is already coming to me. So what can I do to help those around me, right? My heart is full of gratitude. How can I make other people feel like grateful about things, right? Let's focus on that. The world needs love, y'all. Let's spread it.
Yeah, love it. Well, thank you for tuning into the show today. I'm sure we'll have James back on some other time. Part 2 will be needed. And if you're new around here, make sure that you subscribe to our channel, leave a review, because that's actually the best way for more people to find our show, and we can continue to spread the love of dance across the globe. Thank you again, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for tuning in to the Dance Yourself Brave show. If today's episode got you hyped, inspired, or just made you want to bust a move, do me a favor. Subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs to hear today's message. Sharing is caring, after all. And hey, don't forget, your courage is already in you. Sometimes you just gotta dance it out to feel it. Catch you next time. Keep shining and keep dancing yourself brave.